I'm Brent Leary.
Paul Greenberg.
Kenny Lauer.
We are the CRM Playaz, kind of playing a split game here. We're here and we're there. I'm in Atlanta, they're in California, but we're still the Playaz, and we're relatively glad to see you guys.
Relatively.
Yeah, this is strange. It's like, actually, we could announce it this way: you're not in California, and we're not in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Okay, potato meet potato.
Well, that might mean potato meet tomato.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, we're off to a roaring start here.
Roaringly boring.
But anyway, you guys are sitting in what is that place again on Half Moon Bay? What's the hotel?
The Ritz-Carlton Hotel on Half Moon Bay, with arguably the most beautiful view of any hotel I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. But you're not there just for the view, right?
I am.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So I can describe that. There are hundreds of pelicans flying today.
Ooh.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Know who else is flying? I just noticed.
Who?
It's apparently, even though it's Wednesday, and this is like a pop-up CRM Playaz episode, we now commence with the moment of Sven.
He made it? Oh my God. That is Gaelic.
Really?
Wow.
Gaelic or Celtic, one or the other. I want to say it's Gaelic, but it might be Celtic. I'll go.
Kenny, do you want to take a guess on this one?
We try to guess the language.
I would say Celtic.
Celtic.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like the Celtics. Never did. I was a Sixers fan growing up. So
Boston Celtics.
That's right.
All right, Sven.
I actually love pasta with tomato and Gaelic.
Although this does not
Garlic,
look garlic, that doesn't look Gaelic to me. I don't know.
See, it could. No, I'm Gaelic Celtic. Celtic. Tell me there. One or the other. I'm just not sure which.
Sven, you're gonna have to let us know what it is. It looks like there's a split between.
Not a split. I can go either way with these two. I'm just not sure.
The Celtic or the Gaelics?
Either way, I'm going with
the Minneapolis Gaelic, or is this anyway? So, all right, cool. So you guys are hanging out at, what is it called again? The
Constellation Connected Enterprise.
CCE
2022.
CCE. What is this year? What for that?
Year, what was it? 14?
Like the 11th year or 12th year?
It's 13.
I've been here, I think, since 2014 or so.
So
when I started on the sports panel.
That's right. That was 8 years ago. So I want to say it's something like 12, 13. Scott and Gaelic.
Aha.
It was Gaelic.
Good job.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you. Now what he's doing is he's translating what he said. Keep in mind, that's when he says current times are crazy, lots of things change, but CRM Playaz is a big constant. That's what he's saying in Gaelic.
Oh, okay. Really cool. Well, by the way, that moment of Sven was brought to you by no one, because we don't have a sponsor.
We don't have a sponsor.
But we do appreciate Sven taking it.
You know what, though, Sven? We may do that for you. We may have one of our sponsors sponsor your moment.
Well, he knows the company. It could potentially do that. It's got 3 letters in it. Anyway, so what's going on? What's going on out there right now? You guys were on a panel. You were moderating a panel, and Kenny was part of the panel. Tell us about the panel.
Well, we did this panel on pragmatic CRM. Pragmatic CX.
Pragmatic CRM.
No, pragmatic CX. I just keep doing that. I'm trapped in my past now.
Yeah.
Is that traumatic? Or pragmatic?
Traumatic CRM.
Traumatic CRM.
That was the
pragmatic.
Pragmatic CX, traumatic CRM. And it was brilliant. I mean, so again, the panelists were Kenny and were.
By the way, just to let you know, you're looking at the screen.
I know.
Yeah. The camera.
Well, I'm trying to look at the camera.
I'm not. Actually, I'm trying to read some things on here, right? And I can't. These are the wrong glasses. I brought the wrong glasses with me there. I'm struggling. on the screen. You want me to look at the camera? I'm trying to look at you.
You can look wherever you want. It's all
You
right.
know what? How's this?
Yeah, you can look up.
No, how's this?
That's like a godfatherly restful.
Except my eyes are closed.
Yeah, you're looking at your eyelids right now.
I'm sleeping. So, the panel actually went through. We took it to two extremes. That was kind of the concept. So, concept one was there's this guy named Jack Springman who wrote this piece on why empathy and customer centrism were philosophical crap, and CX is only about the bottom line. And the idea was, is that true? And then we went, the other extreme was, and Brent, you'll know this one, is delighting the customer all the time practical CX? Yes, that's right. That's Brent's hat making his argument, making his case. And so we did both extremes, and everybody was, the three of them were just rolling, and they all have this, the perspective. So here, if this is a perfectly aligned perspective, it's boring, right? So they're aligned enough to be constantly conversational and interactive, but they're different enough to really make it genuinely interesting. What do you think?
I think it was genuinely. I think people felt like it was time well spent. Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, Paul set us up to be very successful, as all good moderators do.
Yeah, by being quiet.
And we had really, it was good, different perspectives, and the time went really quickly. But I think that they walked away with some value, hopefully.
Oh, I'm sure.
Was there any kind of a consensus on this question?
Yeah, that we all should be working for leather boy apparel and luxury cesspools.
Did anybody's argument sway any of the other people to the other side?
No, everyone was fairly aligned in the need to have empathy and have a level of customer centricity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only variant on the theme was, at the same time, customers can be assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How do you deal with that? That was a good question you followed up with. Okay, so
what do you do?
And also, I thought you asked some good questions around the use of technology as it applies to customer experience.
Well, what had happened was Portia Mount from Train Technologies said something about, a lot of these things are repeatable, and somehow she mentioned technology. I said, okay, so what does technology actually take care of then? And then that led to another discussion. So, I mean, that was it. It was the conference as a whole has been kind of the usual, which is actually a good thing here, which is that the themes are kind of cutting edge. So you're getting a lot. And for me, because I'm not particularly a data focused person, there's a lot of discussions on data and governance and related things that I pretty much am not in. I'm outside talking to people at that point, but I've also met a incredible variety of people the other thing with arguably best event I ever go to any given year.
Janice is cracking up over here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll be on shortly. What?
You did.
I tweeted you. Did you not see that?
So we're getting our guest who's in the room is speaking up, which is good.
Wait, why don't we do this before we bring him on? So what you've done is you've lined up an assortment of folks. It's almost going to be like a cavalcade of stars, from what I've been told.
That's exactly it.
They're going to come rolling in. They could just walk into the room, and next 5 minutes they'll be on screen. Then somebody else could walk into the room and they're going to be on for 5 minutes.
Well, you're close. The only difference is they got to knock.
All right, so they're going to knock first, then come in, and then get some time. So do you have a list of folks, or is it going to be one of these surprises?
I have a list, but I have no idea who's actually showing up. Right, so no point in giving you the list until they actually show up. and I'm going to let them introduce themselves
Mhm.
because their stories are richer than anything I could ever tell.
What really?
Mhm.
And yeah,
Because you
and
give
you know
the
what?
best, you give the best
I do,
introductions in the industry.
but think
Yeah,
about the
he
format for a
does.
second.
He does.
5-minute conversations, and then I'm adding a 5-minute
Well,
intro.
Yeah, your
Right,
your
so
introductions could go 5.
they go
In
pretty
fact,
long.
I recorded one introduction that Paul used for me, and I use it at every conference now,
Oh,
regardless
wow.
of who's there. I know.
Well, that's the problem, though. He has 30 minutes, and by the time he's done with the
I have
introduction, he's got
3,
3
yeah.
minutes.
And thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Right, I'm a
This
little on
is
the
about
long.
as best as it's gonna get, right?
Right,
there at the end of that intro.
And one last thing we need to say about Kenny and I, of course, is that
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
as you all know, we have launched Playaz Productions Network, PPN, and Kenny and I are co-hosts of Engage with Paul and Kenny. And our latest show is now up on YouTube. It'll be on, something broke on the website, so I have to fix that one. And then it'll be up on the website. And then it turned out, though, it's not 3 hours. It's only 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh, that's
I think YouTube compressed
that's
it.
better.
YouTube compressed it to the act.
Well,
So
But it'll go by like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, matter of
but-
fact, we do have a little short clip that we can give
Oh.
people a taste of.
take it away.
We
Play
do.
the clip.
Yeah.
All
let's hear
right.
it.
What the
So
hell?
would you? So Kenny, would you like to set this up because this involves your buddy Mike Silver?
I don't even know if I know what the
Setting it up means just set it up.
no, but I can't remember what the
Oh, this is
What-
when he starts talking about Steve Kerr.
yeah.
And Al
So
Davis.
this is my buddy Mike Silver. He's a phenomenal journalist in like decades of unbelievable stories and experiences. And I think was this where he was sharing why he was late to the podcast?
Yes.
Yeah. And who had called him and why that made him late, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, listen to the names Mike Silver drops in this clip because it's not just one. All right, here we go.
And he knows these people.
Yes, and he knows them all. All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
Long history with the Raiders, and I lived in Oakland for a long time. Al Davis had banned me many times, including with like an armed police officer not letting me into the locker room. And
So
he
funny.
got fined, I think, $10,000 or $25,000 for keeping me out of the locker room in Kansas City. I went on the Jim Rome show the next day and said, Al, next time, let's cut out the middleman. Give me like 17.5 and I won't even show up. So that went well. As the co-sports editor of our school paper, the Palisades Tideline, I co-authored a column called The Riptide with my co-sports editor, who also liked to have fun with it. And we just basically made fun of everybody in the school, like everyone else in the school, because I was the only Warriors, Niners, A's, Giants fan at the school. He used to clown me about my Warriors hat or whatever, but I did end up getting the last laugh because he is now the coach of the Warriors.
Who are we talking about?
My friend Steve Kerr. Well, I'm in a weird space with the Warriors because I was a fan, but then I became a sports writer, and I did Dennis Rodman, one of his books, and I
know.
so once you're covering the NBA, you're not like it just doesn't. You don't do that as a journalist.
All right, we got to put that.
Wow, how many names? That's
I was ready to say, we got Al Davis kicking him out.
yeah.
We got co-editor of the high school newspaper. Yeah, you got the Jim Rome thing too.
Yeah.
Right.
You got Steve Kerr as his best bud.
Dennis Rodman.
You have Steve
You
Kerr
got Dennis
clowning.
Rodman.
Right.
Clowning him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was clowning him
But
about
he got
being
the
a
last
Warriors
laugh.
fan,
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
That is
And he didn't
hilarious.
even include my favorite clip from the conversation, which you guys know I put a little graphic together.
His comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's an exceptional, very charismatic, very
This show also has a very special musical guest,
Uh-huh.
a rapper named Wiz. We have a wonderful business guest, an industry analyst
Dave.
named Dave Smith. And then we have
Both
Mike
of those
Silver.
were so good.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Those three were, it might have been the three best guests we've had
Yeah.
to date.
Strikingly similar in so many ways.
Well, I'll tell you, I highly recommend people watch Wiz rapping and
Yeah.
listen to David's analysis
Yeah.
and listen to Mike Silver telling the stories he can tell. It's
Yeah.
well worth it. The music is there. Go for it. It's up again right now. I'd suggest going to YouTube, but it will be on all the channels shortly.
Yeah, and I would watch it straight through. Like watch The Wiz, phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And then Dave after Fitz is very complimentary.
Yeah, and by the way, sit down, chill, drink a glass of wine, or harder.
Like
If you're interested, Kenny and I recommend we're talking about what we're drinking while we're doing the show.
Irish whiskey.
Turned out to be, given the show, 3 bottles each of what we were drinking.
Hey, look, and depending on what state you live in, you don't even just have to the drink. You can, light up. I'm just
No, that was not part of the plan.
all right. So you got a guest already?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so
Dr. Janice
why
is
don't you-
going to come on and tell us all about who she is, what she does. She is. I'm not going to do the intro because again,
She'll do it.
You'll come
Dr.
on
J.
and then you'll leave, right? Because I've done the intro, it took all the time. But she is spectacular. I will just say that I've known her for many years now, and when you hear what she does and how she does it, you will be amazed.
All right, I'll
Dr.
go get her.
Jan,
I'll go get her.
Kenny will escort you to the chair.
Please.
Wow, is that a long
It's
It's at least what, 3 feet?
Yeah.
We have to clip in the.
Yeah, just clip it up on
it's
up around here. Just
I can't see
look
the
at.
clip.
Oh, yeah, I think you got it.
Do we do this?
Okay.
If not, if it falls off, we'll.
You know what you do?
We'll
You
say,
pick it
"Hey,
up and put
Brad."
it back on. Dr. J.
You know
Oh, you
what to
met.
do.
You guys met. What am I
Do
thinking?
you want to? He doesn't believe. Of course, I tweeted you. Who else would tweet you?
I know,
Tweeting since
nobody else.
2008.
Literally nobody else.
I literally. Wait a minute. The picture is awesome. So it's right there, and you better,
Okay.
like retweet. And where's your camera? Oh, there's your camera.
Yeah, see that?
Okay.
You look at the camera. I look at Brent just because it's more
He's
interesting than
cute.
my camera,
Oh,
right? But
I like that.
so why don't
So-
you tell people who you are, what you do, and what you do is it's
You
amazing.
did you miss my NFT panel? So you don't know about my new NFT
Oh
thing?
no.
Okay.
It depends on what it is there. Okay.
Well, I can try and integrate.
I
the
like
story
his
if you-
NFT panel, his NFT stuff, but I have to
His
now hear
NFT
yours.
stuff.
Okay, I'm listening.
Mine's going up for auction. The website
You go
launched
for 60,
yesterday, and it was
66 million,
all
66 million per NFT.
no. This is actually art. They're all one of one art, and the only reason that I own them and refound them just a couple of months ago, in the middle of post COVID, has to do with the IP. So what Paul's talking about is I developed a way to measure how people team together. And that works whether you're talking about work teams or you're talking about home teams, and they're pretty much the same. And really, that's true for global kind of teams also. And it's now called Nomi. You can find me at teamingscience.com. And why Paul's impressed is it kind of nailed him when he went through.
Yeah, it
so
did.
this is not about personality. I'm a systems scientist. My PhD is in systems. And so I wanted to do for human interaction what Einstein did, unified field theory. Not that I'm ambitious or anything, but, I had plenty of years to do it because, IBM wasn't hiring girls the year I graduated. And so I had plenty of years to think it through and understand what's important. And it turns out there's 3 important things that you want to know about someone. And the way you measure them is you put them in a situation where they're interacting with what I like to think of as little silicon-based life forms. You get to star in movies with a stable cast, and you get to interact with them. What the information, I hate to use the term data because it's a little bit higher level than that comes out, is you learn 3 important things about someone. How do they contribute to something bigger than themselves, like whether that's a giant project or could be a CRM, but that king position has been taken, so don't try for that one. Or it could be, you're thinking about partnering up with someone for some of that fun stuff that you do after the wine usually, or the whatever it is you recommend. First, how do you contribute to that thing bigger than you? Under what circumstances do you do your best work? A little bit of stress, 0 stress, or what's normal for tech startup people? super stress. Like, we call it excitement. That's all. But not everybody is like us. And so, you got to have people in the right thing. And then there's I think I identified about 60 or 80,000, I can never remember, kind of minor things about people that will help you fit fabulously into one kind of situation, not so much into another one. It doesn't mean you're less fabulous. It just means, like Paul, be an analyst, consultant, independent, not somebody who has to work for, what's a polite word for asshole?
Asshole.
Oh, asshole. Most of us who are startup people or consultants or things like that, we worked for one too many in our lifetime, and now we're happy. That's what we do.
Well, I mean, just to elaborate, when I took the test, which was, I think, when this event was in
Year
Arizona,
one.
right?
The year
That
what,
was it,
2011.
Right. So it's 2011.
Yeah.
I took the test. First, I was blown away by how much fun it actually was to take the test. I mean, it's kind of scenario based, and there were movies involved, like literally movies. Not, I mean, when I say that, I mean it was written, but it wasn't. I don't remember watching movies, but
No.
it was all about your participation in movie
in your head
environments in your head, right? And it was so much fun to do that. And then when I got the results, I was like, holy God, man, that nailed it at every single level. I've never seen anything like it. And again, goes to Dr. Janice's point here, which is, it's not a personality test, but it literally situates you in a way that you'll understand what are your best possible, what are your better possible, best is always a little specious, but your better possible options for how you work, what you do, and how you execute, right? But it's very much right-brained. Meaning it's behavioral,
it's full brain
focused. Well, I'm so not a left-brained person.
But,
I don't even have one.
No,
I am so not left-brained that I literally thought that this was my right brain on my right side, because I don't have a left brain. Right, so I have two right brains, right? So, so it was just amazing, and you know what? The results for me were the astonishment I felt is consistent with the results other who come to see over the years. Been absolutely extraordinary. It's just different, and plus New Yorker. So there you have it, right? So that's what I'm saying. So on the whole, it's. I mean, to me, it's. I don't like calling anything revolutionary. It's foundational, meaning it's something that literally should have it should be required by a lot of companies, right, to understand what kind of people that are actually there and potentially working for them.
Here's the best part. It's for sale.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's okay, and it's for sale.
It's for sale.
So why don't you make a pitch?
Well, it is. It's for a company or a consulting company. There are a few contenders, but it's basically out for that. That's how I got to the NFT stuff. When I was putting together the big book of secrets, the big file of secrets, along with all the content stuff, and so somebody could rebuild it if the server blew up tomorrow, I discovered that when I used to invent games too, back then, corporate games to make things fun. I needed art for it. And I can't draw and I hate clip art. And my son at the time had a roommate who couldn't pay his share of the rent, and I was going to get hung for it because, I had a countersign. So I hired this, at the time, unknown artist, and now probably dead and kind of notorious in the cartoon world. And I discovered this file that I had paid for.
Was this your son's college roommate? Was this guy?
This was post-college.
Post-college roommate.
A long time ago.
Okay.
I am that old. And I discovered this art that I had technically commissioned. I owned it, copyrighted. I've got all the backup, including the checks that I pay for it. And when I looked at them again, I said, oh my God, these look like NFTs. And all it took was enough of a search, a good search chain will, gives you information. And I connected with someone who had a art informed by this old artist. We partnered up. And if you're into interesting cartoon art, it is just launched at schmorkynft.com. That's the artist's name. SHMORKY.
Literally like it sounds.
.com, literally like it sounds. And if you were a furry, you'd understand it. But you're not.
No.
But it's okay. No judgments, no nothing. But apparently it's of historic enough significance that it'll drop in, I don't know, marketing it literally. The website just went live last night.
Wow.
So, and I did not do it. I didn't do it myself because I'm not an artist. And it will be available. And I'm snagging the one that was supposed to be me in the stories for myself. So, well, we live on.
Well, thank you, my dear.
It's always so good to see you. It's the once-a-year best party of the year. So listeners need to be at Constellation Connected Enterprise 2023 here.
Oh, yeah.
Half Moon Day.
Napa, and then and AXS in March 2023.
Even
I'm not going to
faster.
tell you what it stands for because the first word is stupid. But just call it AXS. We'll call it Astounding Experience Summit. How's that? I changed the definition of the first word, or the reference of the first word. It's going to be in Napa Valley, hosted by the Culinary Institute of America. It's going to be amazing.
You're ready for your next?
All right. Whoop.
Are you not?
Yes. No.
I almost walked off with the technology.
I almost broke your necklace too. I don't care about walking off with the technology. We literally would have broken your necklace. Thank you, Dr. J. And now our next guest, Jennifer Murphy, who's the CMO of Five9.
Hello.
Right here. Just
Excellent.
put it wherever you think you can get it on.
Put it right here.
There's not a lot of room for clipping there.
That's all right.
Oop, no.
Ooh, no,
Almost.
almost.
It's okay. We're good. We got time.
Close but no cigar. Okay,
All
that's
right.
it. We're back.
All right. So Jennifer, have you met Brent?
Hello, Brent.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, Paul, you're going to have to start asking these people at your last question has to be a certain question, right?
Oh,
For each person.
Well, look, Dr. J and I have had that discussion a million times. She's literally the same rooting interest as mine.
All right.
But you will get the question.
Okay.
That
all
will
right.
come
Okay,
toward the end.
bring
of
it
the
on,
few
bring
minutes.
it on.
Okay, it's coming. Not yet. It's at the end. Okay. So Jennifer, why don't you tell people? I mean, I love you. So why don't you just tell people about who you are, what you do, and also how you end up here.
Yeah, okay. Well, so my name is Jennifer Murphy, Dr. Murphy. I am a doctor, and I am currently Chief Marketing Officer at Five9. So Five9 is a cloud contact center as a service company who has been in business for over 20 years. Yep. I've been there for 2. Prior to that, I was on the other side of the house. I lived in the world of IT, DevOps, applications, operations, security, when I spent about 13 years at Hewlett-Packard. And that's part of how I ended up here, actually, at CCE, was a combination of loving customer experience, working for a company who essentially is in the hub of the customer experience world, and also having built up strong connections with Ray and the Constellation team during my time at HP. And that's how I ended up in the beautiful Half Moon Bay.
So what made you go from HP to Five9?
So I think it was a combination of things. So one, after you've been somewhere 13 years, you learn a lot, but you also want to test yourself. And so for me, it was a combination of things. One, I wanted to test my CMO capabilities in a different size company. 2, Five9, incredibly high growth SaaS company. So we've had growth that has been in the high 20s and 30s over the past several quarters, which has been great. We've been very, very fortunate to have some incredible customers come on board with us. And then third, it's just that world of customer experience. It actually goes back to what my doctorate is. What makes people tick? What makes people adopt new technology and want to engage with brands?
Well, so, okay, actually to that, because, that, of course, is part of all discussions. I don't know if you heard our panel today, but that was focused on more on behavior. It was called Pragmatic CX, right? It was focused more on behavior than we had a big discussion on two things. One was there's this article by this guy, Jack Springman from Optima Partners, where he basically said, empathy and customer centrism are philosophical crap. You should be focused only on the commercial, blah, 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 which I, of course, hate what he thinks. Right?
It's not all a transaction. It's not all a transaction,
But he really, he makes it very, in his tactical stuff, like, what do you do if that's the case? There's some actually interesting suggestions, but it's not the case.
Yeah.
Right? Then I went the other way entirely with the panel and said, all right, you see customer strategies that are, our job is to delight the customer all the time. Is that a decent strategy? And my answer is no, it's not. In fact, it's a terrible strategy. And it's not really a strategy. I moderated the panel. I wasn't on the panel, so I let them talk about it. But
debate
so how do you see both of those?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I agree with you, right? I mean, and you know why? It's like, I cringe when people say that, like, oh, we make it a delightful experience. Like, let's be honest. Do I even want it to be delightful?
Right.
No, I want it to be efficient.
Exactly.
I want it to be effective. I want it to be practical. I want it to get the job done. If it can be a happy experience, great. Okay. That's, the cherry on top of the cake.
Appreciate it. But,
right? But at the end of the day, if you had empathy with me and spoke, it's like earlier on today, we did a panel and Liz, I think, gave a great example of this, where it's like, hey, you want your password reset? I don't need empathy if I'm going to, be having my password reset. I just want it done. Right. I want the outcome.
Look, I'm a great believer in empathy and customer centered. I'm not a great believer because ultimately you have to understand your customer. But as Dan Vin, who's our one of our panelists with CMO of Culinary Institute, he didn't put it in these exact terms. He said, but look, the way he put it was, customers can sometimes be out of control. But what he really means is customers could be assholes. Right. And in a way, you're empathetic to the point that you understand why they're being a jerk. But at the same time, you don't have to take it.
Exactly. I mean, listen, it's the basic rules of life. You want to be respectful. You don't want to be rude. You want to listen and not just talk. But yeah, I mean, when you've got people calling up and they're upset and they're frustrated, do I want someone who's going to spend all of their time empathizing with me? No. Do I want someone who's going to appreciate where I'm coming from, give me the opportunity to share my point of view, and then fix my problem? Yes,
exactly.
I do.
And the other aspect of which I had this mantra when I first started CRM. It goes way, way back, and it was a very simple mantra, and I still adhere to it, which is, and this is literally the foundation principle for me. If a customer likes you and continues to like you, they'll continue to do business with you. If they don't, they won't.
Yep.
That's it. And it all goes from there. And
like isn't about because you necessarily created a delightful experience.
No, it's
like
not at all about that.
You listened to what I needed and you helped me get to the outcome, the place at which I wanted to get to.
Yeah, ultimately making it convenient and easy.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. Convenience is way more important than delight.
Efficient, effective, and then all the delight and all of the other stuff, that can all come around it. And it's important and it does help differentiate.
On occasion, yeah.
Right, it does help
that's
differentiate.
The whole idea.
But I think there's a time and a place. And that's where as well, when you think about channels in customer experience as well, there's a time and a place for chat. There's a time and a place for voice. There's a time and a place for the mobile app. Right. And you have to think about all of those different pieces and apply context.
Exactly right.
So important.
Yeah, I mean, another interesting thing. So 2018, Jason Wong Well, so what happened? I do this podcast for our network called Talking Headless, and in that I did this section on. I looked at a trend and decided thumbs up, thumbs down. And I originally started looking at this trend called total experience. You know, it's Gartner. And when I read that, I went, blah 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 blah. And, but then I read multi-experience by Jason Wong, and I thought,
Okay.
then what that is, it says not omni-channel. He says, because we're now dealing with not just channels, we're dealing with modalities.
Yes.
And then what we saw with like Richie's technology yesterday, the Mobius technology, that regardless of the technology itself, but that is exactly what was meant by modalities. So for those of you who didn't see it, it was basically the most interesting feature function part of it. There wasn't really a narrative there, but the feature function part was the use of the hand in the air to do a lot of things that you would not expect on an actual screen.
Yeah.
And it applies to any screen. You know, nothing special has to be done to the screen, right? So, but that goes to modalities because you're talking about taste and smell and touch and you know and voice and so on and that's kind of the new wave. Multi-experience I've become a proponent of. Total experience. I know who gives a
and I think the thing is it's like anything. You have to look at things from multiple different angles, right? Because what I like about whether it's the multi or the total experience is you're looking at it from the customer perspective. You're looking at it from the, in our case, in contact center world, the agent or the employee perspective. You're bringing in things like modalities, channels, and you're looking at it from all different angles and appreciating that it's all one holistic thing. Right, and it can be perceived in multiple different ways, and I think that's the interesting thing about it.
All right, so I got two final things. Okay.
Bring it on.
Well, this one's kind of easy. You don't have to actually answer this. You just want to make you aware of it. On November 2nd, Brent and I and Anand Thakur, who is called the Midas of Martech, and as Brent calls him, the Golden Smog, right?
Okay, I like it.
Brent and I and Anand are hosting a changing role of CMO town hall on LinkedIn Audio, and it's a 2:45 p.m. East. What's the 2:45 to what, Brent?
Like 3:30.
Okay, 2:45 to 3:30. Nice. The idea is to have the conversation with CMOs and audience, whoever comes. It's on a LinkedIn Audio. This town hall, and you're invited, and we'd love to have you on.
Love that. I love that topic because I think the CMO has evolved so much, and I think CEOs and GMs and CROs and all those different people that we as CMOs work with. I don't know if they appreciate and understand the modern CMO.
I will get you all the information.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, now the final question.
Yes.
Do you have a professional National Football League team you root for?
Oh, now are you talking like American football?
Yes, in this case, American. Now, here's the thing. Depending on your answer, even though we love the conversation, if you give the wrong answer, you will never be invited back to this show.
Oh, well, that's hard. Like, you can't ask a British person that because, like, I think...
No, you don't have a team. That's an answer.
I don't have a team. I don't.
All right, no. Well, that's a right answer. There's only one wrong answer. New England Patriots.
Fair
that's
enough.
It.
Fair enough.
So you will absolutely be welcome back.
Yes.
We will see you on November 2nd.
I love it.
Hug.
All
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
Killed
as
it again.
ever. Thank you, Brent.
Mike.
Nice to meet
Mike,
you.
I won't walk off.
No, you can walk off, but it might like rip your thing there. These mics are deadly.
We'll make it dramatic.
This is a deadly mic.
Love it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
That was awesome.
All right. Keep it coming.
Kenny will be bringing in the next one.
You might as well go ahead and pitch the full pitch for the first ever Players Town Hall.
Well, actually, not yet, because we have another CMO popping in right now.
Okay.
Dan Vinn, CMO of the Culinary Institute of America. Welcome to CRM Playaz. And this is Brent Leary, who you will definitely be meeting.
Hey, Brent.
Long time
Pleasure meeting you.
BFF and partner, and both of us are engaged in this nefarious activity here. So Dan,
Indeed.
why don't you fill people in a little bit on who you are, what you do, and talk about the Culinary Institute? Notice I'm avoiding the obvious thing there so that you don't have to deal with the acronym talk.
Yes, so I'm with the Culinary Institute of Americas, the original CIA. We were formed in 1946 for returning GIs from the war, World War II. Since then, we've developed the whole profession and education for associate, bachelor's, and now master's program as well. We serve three sort of constituents. We have the students that are looking to go into the profession, whether as a chef or R&D at a McDonald's or a Unilever or food media.
I didn't realize you actually covered R&D side too, as
so
part of a
culinary
career.
science, like a lot of innovations coming out of restaurants, fast food, etc.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm coming to work for you guys. My next
Come, it's
career.
fun. And then we also support the industry in terms of driving some of the thought leadership around issues facing the industry right now: food waste, food access, health and wellness, sustainability, equity and inclusion. Who gets to sit at the table? A lot of the food is very Eurocentric, and that's where the training started. But now we're really celebrating, all cuisines. And then on the consumer side, everyone's welcome to come to campus, dine in our restaurant, take a class, hold their
I actually have a
wedding.
question now that you said that. The dine in the restaurant part.
Yeah.
I mean, your standard must be insane. So how do you, you literally have turned out some of the most famous chefs in the world, but you have an on-premise restaurant. How do you multiple restaurants?
Multiple restaurants.
So how do you keep a standard that's going to be almost, it's like going to be this insanely high standard? This is like, they're going to expect a 4-star Michelin experience at every single thing you have, and there's no such thing yet, right? So how do you do that?
No, absolutely. I mean, they are they're essentially like the finishing school. So there's faculty in the restaurants along with the students. Students run front of house as well as back of house.
Okay.
And it's basically for the associate program, it's the last semester before they go off to either run their own restaurant or finish up with their master's degree.
Okay.
So so these are independent restaurants. We have a French restaurant, we have an Italian restaurant, we have an American farm to table restaurant. We even have a gastropub.
Wow. I wish I had one locally.
Yeah, so students really learn. Well, it's really their finishing.
Right. It's like
program.
it's basically their final, in effect, not necessarily literally, final exam, right? They finish up, then they go out in the world.
Yeah, and it's really a fun experience to come and dine there because we really encourage the guests to talk to the students, understand, where they're going next, what their aspirations are. And these are some of the future top chefs, right?
Well, some you've had like illustrious alumni, but I don't actually want to get into that because I actually want to get more into what you're doing at Culinary Institute. So can you tell, the role of a CMO there is kind of fascinating because it's very different than you're dealing with people who, meaning the consumer side of it, people who are utterly passionate about and pretty damn knowledgeable at some levels about food. And you're dealing with the people who are passionate about making it, right? And you're a CMO and you've got to get all that across somehow. I mean, how do you do that?
It's really fascinating. I mean, I come from the commercial world, so not from the higher ed at all. But I came here because it's not a traditional higher ed institution. I mean, we have offerings for the consumers and for the industry as well. So the big part of my job is really driving enrollment for the college. And so on the undergraduate side, you've got kids now that are coming straight out of high school. So we're talking to them. When I first came in, we didn't talk to them until they applied as a senior.
Okay.
Now we're talking to them as juniors, as sophomore, and freshmen, because we want to make sure that whoever's passionate about the industry, they understand what the career potential is. And it's not just limited to being in the kitchen and running a restaurant. You can really, the food world now touches everything, every aspect of commerce and, and the food system, and so we want to make sure that we engage with them, keep them passionate, let the parents know that this is a legitimate 4-year college. It's not a traditional school, but they're going to get the best education, all geared around food. So they'll learn food science, history, anthropology. So cool. Everything is more sort of relatable and plays into that kid's passion. And for a lot of these kids, that's a better way for them to learn. Well, it's involvement. It's participation, and that's kind of the route I think things need to be going anyway. So what do you do, like when you? Okay, so years ago, I worked with the Association of Collegiate Registrars and Administrators and Registrars, ACRO, I can't remember what it stands for. And I did some stuff with them. And one of the things I wrote was a piece on Student for Life, is what it was called. They had a I think they call it student relationship management, but it was really CRM. But I kind of extended it into lifetime, like, you're a student for life, right? Meaning, you graduate, you get a job, but you're still a donor. You're eventually somebody who might leave the money in the will. You help them with grants. You might volunteer to do things. You might get on a board. But one way or the other, you're connected to your university your whole life, right? But there'll be periods where it's way up and way down. Now, you guys actually have a better case to make for that than the universities do, because you literally are turning out chefs who went there, and they're always associated with food all their life, and you're always at some level. First of all, you're partly responsible for their life, meaning helping them create it, and secondly, you're available, and this is kind of the more question than it is statement, as a resource to them as they grow chefs, as they get older and older. Absolutely, we want to be there and help them to continue to learn and advance their career, especially now we have master's program. So that you can get essentially like an MBA in food, and the program also helps you if you want to launch new products or new food service. You can build a business plan, and in that master's program, we also have wine and beverage management for those that want to really build a career out of the beverage industry. And then we just launched our sustainable food systems. So that's really for people that want to drive impact and change and understand the complexities of the food systems and how do you lead that change, whether it's in a nonprofit organization or in a big corporation. So yeah.
One last question. Well, there's sort of one invitation, 2 last questions. And one of the questions will determine whether you're ever coming back to this show, the last one. All right. So the question that is not that is, how do you envision what you're doing at Culinary Institute of America in the future? Like, what do you see as the direction you have to move, given all the changes going on in the world and the way content's being consumed and so on? What do you see as your opportunity?
So going forward is really about storytelling and letting people know what we're about. On the undergraduate side, we actually built out a content studio. So as marketers, when I first came in 4 years ago, we developed a lot of the social media content. Now we have an army of dozens of students that are creating content for us. TikTok, IG Reels, etc. It's teaching them that when they go out and they have their restaurant, they have to understand how to build a brand, and they all have to understand how to tell their story. So a lot of this is crafting the narrative. The other thing is just the authenticity of the content that comes out of the students. They're showcasing life in school, they're showcasing the classroom, etc. Alumni comment, current students comment, parents comment. So prospective students look at that. And of
course, and are any of them doing like TikTok food hacks?
They are. And so we also bust some of the myths of TikTok food hacks. But so we built that for the undergraduate side, but what we need to do is build the same comparable sort of community for the management side and the industry side. Oh, did we crash?
No, I don't think so. Brent, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay. So first invitation and you don't have to answer now. You can, but you don't have to. So on November 2nd, from 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time to 3:30 Eastern Time, we're doing a LinkedIn audio town hall entitled "The Changing Role of the CMO." Brent, I, and Anand Thakur, who's called the Midas of MarTech. Brent's nickname for him is the Golden Smog, right? And who's a wonderful guy. You would love him. Are gonna host it, and the idea is to get CMOs, CROs, all the different titles, basically in the LinkedIn room, so to speak, and an audience, and have a conversation on that changing role. Like to invite you to be one of the CMOs who are coming, 2:45 p.m. ET to 3:30. Don't have to answer now. I will talk to you afterwards about it. All right.
Okay, great.
This is the key. All right. So
I thought this was going to determine whether I get.
no. Well, in a way, it will. I mean, what I just said will be moot depending on your answer. Right. Brent, do you want to ask this one?
No,
Yeah.
you got a good flow going here.
All right. So here's the thing. This question will literally determine, as much as we've thoroughly loved the conversation, whether or not you're ever invited back to anything we do at all on any of our shows at any time. All right?
No pressure.
What's your favorite NFL football team? NFL team. I don't have to say football.
So I guess being in DC, I have to say
No, that's okay. What the Commanders? Then?
the Commanders.
I mean, that's
I'm still not used to the name.
I will
but-
give you that that's an odd choice, but it's not a wrong choice, right? The only wrong answer is New England Patriots.
That is the wrong answer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now you're going to be invited to a lot more things, right? Because you agreed with us on that being a totally wrong answer. Well, thank you so much, sir. It
Thank
was
you for
awesome,
having
and
me.
I will see you and Maria in about a couple weeks.
Awesome. Or
Well,
tonight,
actually, see you tonight too. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir. Oh,
No, don't worry. Literally every single person's forgotten to take that off so far. But thank you. Can you
Thanks,
ask
Brent.
Kenny to come on in?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So Brent, as you can see, just put up the information about this. If you're watching, please attend. This is going to be fascinating because we're going to be talking. Look, CMOs are now called CROs. They now have revenue responsibilities they didn't have. They are called CGOs. They have what CCO responsibilities. Oh, wait, we have another special guest here. And Brent, you know who that is. You know who this is.
What's up, Brent Leary?
Look who it is.
Hi.
It's so good to see a fellow Rams fan. Let me tell you why it's so good. While you're getting ready,
Yes.
let me play a clip
Yes.
from last week, and you'll know why I'm extremely happy to see you.
Okay.
Chairs are coming in,
What's
so that means
happening?
we're going to have some guests coming in shortly.
This is like magic.
This is really cool because we would have to
Look
do
at
that
this
ourselves
setup.
normally.
Oh,
Since they put up two chairs, I guess we're going with the
Watch it,
dynamic duo
all right.
coming into the
Jenny
studio
Lamb.
right now.
Hello, Cooper. How you guys doing? How are you?
Wow, I guess I'll give you a hug too. I don't know we're hugging here.
Yeah.
We're hugging folks.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
Let me do the hug here.
I don't mind the
We got Rams and Niners fans joining hands here for us.
And we have New York Giants fans too.
Did you
Let's
just wait a
remember
minute?
that.
Did you, I just hugged the Patriots. You did, and it's on camera.
Okay, I'm sorry, the show's
All right,
over.
folks, the show is over.
Everybody. Good night. Jenny, do you have a favorite NFL football team?
A favorite football team?
Yeah, she
You're not gonna like the answer. Go Pats.
All right, enough of that. I can.
And Brent, as you know, is
And
not the hugger, and he hugged
No.
both of them.
Brent, I was thinking that you were going to be here. And so I did spend a little time scouring various stores in Los Angeles trying to find you paraphernalia you might not have.
That doesn't
Good luck with
But-
that one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? So like he has everything.
You know what you have to do? I tell you what you can do. Deliver Eric Dickerson in person
well,
to his house.
that's a little, I don't know if I can, I'm not sure I can do that one, but I'm still thinking that I might have to pick up that glitter one I saw the one time. There was a hat and it's like floral and the logo is
What?
like glittery,
A
and I'm
ram
like,
hat?
and I'm like, that is quite
Like
frankly.
a ram hat that somebody being a fairy princess would wear?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're like, well, if the ladies love the Rams, we have to have glitter and flowers. Like, I don't know what misperceptions someone had, but it's one of the ugliest hats I've ever seen. And I thought,
And
if
you
he's a
thought of
real
me.
fan,
I
if
really
he's a real
thank you.
fan, he'll wear it.
Yeah, no.
No. You're like, that's the line. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
He'll actually send it to the Patriots fans.
He would be
Right.
like, he would send it to someone and be like,
And it would be-
here, you can just wear this during Rams
And you know what
games,
happens?
right?
The Wicked Witch of the West thing in the original Boozer. Oh, help me! I'm melting.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
I think that would
put the
happen.
hat on.
Yeah.
I am very excited to be living in Rams country once again. Although I'm just going to say, every time I'm in LA, it seems like the Rams decide to leave LA. So I don't, and then they do something silly like move to Orange County and keep trying to convince everyone they're in LA. It's not.
I know.
It's Orange County.
The
That
Anaheim
was like
Rams.
the Giants and the Jets playing in New Jersey, and somehow
And say
tried
they're
to
in
say
New York.
in New
Yeah, you're like, you're in Jersey. Stop it.
You do, and that's what we keep telling you. Do know the difference, right? Because if you don't, we're lost.
Yeah.
Although this year we're
Bigger trouble.
We literally got ranked 5th. The Giants are ranked 5th in the NFL right now.
It's
Power
not
ranking.
the ranking, it's the passion with which you play. I don't know. I'm coming up with something.
Yeah,
I'm just doing it. I'm doing it.
That doesn't
What's
work.
up, guys?
Well, this is what we're asking you.
Gosh, what isn't up? We've been talking a lot about trust. I am very glad that we've been talking about trust and not delight. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
I'm not going to lie, Paul.
So
You had a panel, you had a moment where people were trying to convince you that delight was a good thing. And Brent, I wish you could have seen his facial expression. I'm going to try to find the film of people trying to convince Paul Greenberg that delight is a thing.
Probably the same kind of expression that was on my face when I realized I was hugging a Patriots fan.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually pretty close.
I think. But then we did come up with the ultimate moment, the ultimate mic drop moment
I'll let you.
at all of
This is-
CCE 2022 is when the phrase was uttered, "Don't be a tool hugger, be a value lover."
Oh,
Actually, there's a bigger moment. You know what?
What?
Leather Boy.
Okay, well, the leather boy moment was pretty good because Esteban maybe said it about like 10 times.
Right. So Esteban, last night there was this brain trust meeting going on. So Kenny was there and Esteban was there. I was there. You popped in and out,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And this guy, Hunter Abrams, was Kenny's partner at Relic. And we'll close the show with Kenny coming on and talk a little bit about this. But Relic ticketing, and then
I love what they're doing.
Yeah, they actually
Love what
the
they're
first
doing.
time I've ever heard the word NFT, and I actually liked the idea. Right, so
Yes.
I kind of like Dr. J is selling NFT stuff too, but she's more old school, and she's got something interesting there. But this is really the use of blockchain, really,
Yes.
and it's really well
It
done.
will. That will shake up an
Yeah,
industry that is ripe for a shakeup.
So this meeting's going on, and we came up with this idea. Well, actually, Esteban came up with the idea, to be fair, of creating a company called Leatherboy Apparel for Leatherboy Luxury Apparel for cesspools, right? Well, he originally was for pools. I actually was cesspools.
You went to
I made
cesspools.
it into cesspools.
Yeah.
And then I thought what was being talked about was that Leatherboy would actually sell luxury cesspools, and the apparel would be the merch. Right.
No, they went straight for apparel.
Yeah. See, so the net was Esteban when he did his panel on stage.
He kept promoting.
And he said he was not only chief evangelist CX, but he was also founding partner at Leatherboy Apparel.
Yeah, leatherboy.com.
He just said that's all he said. So when I got on the stage today, when I was introducing my panel, I went, I'm managing principal for 56 Group and founding advisor for, and I said Leatherboy luxury cesspools and apparel and luxury cesspools.
And luxury cesspools.
And then people had no clue. The people who understood laughed their asses off. But we're trying to make that into a theme on the stage just because it's so ridiculous.
wow.
That, and it also came after my panel in which we talked about don't be a tool hugger, which was the first dangerous rail we talked about. And then the next was, it's not the size of your data that matters. And imagine it's basically an all-women panel talking about this, and poor David Gang, who's the CTO and co-founder of Brightspot, the headless CMS company. Dave is just sitting there like,
what am I supposed to do?
like, am I allowed to talk right now? Because
Yeah,
it's all the ladies like,
I
"Don't
hope
be a
he just
tool
said
hugger."
no, he didn't say anything. Just
He
let
didn't.
y'all
He
go.
was very wise.
Oh
He
my
just-
God, yeah.
He took the wise man's path of just let the ladies go wrong. Like, let this happen. And you know,
That
we
is
just rolled, and then they was like, it's not about the size of your data. Don't be a tool hugger. It was, you know what, it was appropriately inappropriate for a Liz moderated panel, I thought.
Well, that's all your panels are appropriately
Inappropriate.
inappropriate.
I think that should be my new theme.
Oh, that's a good podcast for you title.
You know what?
Appropriately
Yeah.
inappropriate. That's gonna
Inappropriate.
be my new pod. That'll be it.
All right.
That's it.
Yes.
It's
I love
on.
it.
It only takes me just a little listen to
He's so
find-
good. No, Brent's like a marketing genius. He actually is.
I love it.
I actually was thinking that this morning about you, Brent. I'm not kidding, because I was thinking about like the previews and the clips and the
Yep.
actual like how good those previews things, the slides and
Really
stuff
good.
look. They're spectacular. They're not good. They're
It's kind of like
spectacular.
you were built to do this, Brent.
You and then the like when you come up with ideas for shows, or you come up with like appropriately inappropriate. You do that a lot, and it's just natural to you. But it's astounding how fantastic you actually are. You're not like good. You're genuinely fantastic.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
guys.
Brent's like, this is
Talk
making me
about
very
something else.
uncomfortable.
All right. So, what else is left in terms of the conference? What is there
Dinner.
another?
We've got the
Yay.
big SNA, the Supernova Awards. Those will be announced tonight.
who
And
won CX?
I can't.
I know you can't tell us.
I can give you a
This is
hint.
live.
Okay, I can
Come on,
give you.
nobody. You can just tell us. It's just us.
It's just you two, right? Come on. Unless, is Sven around? What's he doing? Yeah. So
He's there.
if he's there, I can't tell you because he's a loudmouth. God.
Sven, you hearing this?
Sven
Sven,
knows,
come
Sven
on,
knows
man.
I love him.
Yeah, I know. You love him.
So the next gen CX category was actually really interesting this year because again, I think we have this challenge every year, and Paul, you and I have talked about this, that people when they actually put together their submission, they actually have a bigger CX story than they realize, and they tend to focus on the one thing in technology that they kind of sort of solved. But in the results, when you start to look at it, they're like, down these costs. I got new customers to come in and have the conversation. I actually extended the way that we were using data. And I'm like, that's your CX story, kids, not the fact that you implemented a new CRM solution.
Yep.
It's about that you did all these things. So this group, I will tell you that it involves cars.
Oh, well, you know what? I already know who it is.
I already know who won because
Me too, because it's
we were
literally
voters.
I
Yeah,
voted for.
the cars. And she she has been the self-named Hefe of something.
Well, I will tell you, presuming it's the one that I'm pretty sure it is, and I know Brent knows but to me, that was so far and away the best of the lot. It wasn't even close.
Like they literally transformed their business in a time they had to.
I will tell you, look, as far as my voting on this, I will tell you one thing. I didn't even pick a first, second, or third.
You
I
just
picked
picked the one.
That
Yeah.
was it. I
Yeah.
mean, I literally from the beginning.
Yeah.
Not when the
I thought the same
finals,
thing.
right from the very beginning.
I read that submission and I was like, she put in the work. She changed the business. Pandemic fundamentally changed the way anyone could buy or sell a car and extend the opportunity of that business.
The other ones
That's what we
were
do.
fine. Well, it's sort of fine, not totally,
Yeah.
but this one was exceptional, and it stood out.
Yeah, I
by
agree.
far. I wasn't even I can't even begin to explain the distance. I don't even know
Yeah.
numbers big enough. For that.
The marketing transformation category, I'm kind of thinking about losing it next year.
Oh.
Because the marketing transformation category and the next gen CX category are getting so close
That's fair.
in a lot of the kind of the what they are doing and how those changes are evolving that I'm like, let's just have one big party and call it a
You know
day.
what you do? You just give it to the host of next year's AXS.
Right.
By the way, Paul,
Just automatically, yeah.
I'm prompting you because you should make an invitation to Liz for this.
Oh, that's right. Boy, good
Oh,
convo.
I like that. That's
So-
a good
But
convo.
but notice. Well, actually, you know what? Oh, there it is. See what it says at the bottom there.
Yeah.
It plays town hall conversation.
I like that.
No, but this is also on the LinkedIn audio platform.
Oh, very
Brand new.
cool.
So, well, the idea is we're bringing together CMOs, CROs. So, for example, Jennifer is in. She's
Good.
already said.
Good.
We have Celia Fleischacker from Verint. She's in.
Perfect.
Why don't you come in? The
I'd
idea
love
is
it.
November 2nd between 2:45, 3:30.
Okay.
That's Eastern time.
Yeah.
The conversation will be between all the CMOs, CROs, and the audience too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a free-flowing conversation. People can come in and out as they choose, but we want to have people from different areas of marketing who are either C-level execs
Yeah.
or are talking to C-level execs and are like an analyst.
Yeah.
And have been C-level execs. But like you,
Yeah.
for example, you're literally the only one who fits that category. So you're the one we want.
I'm the
Right.
one.
You're the one
I'm
we
the one.
want.
No, you know who you could really invite
Who?
and just mess him up because he still seems to believe that he wasn't ever a marketer?
Who's that?
Jamie Anderson, I'm coming for you.
Oh, Jamie's invited.
Good. Jamie,
She's coming for.
Jamie, he knows. Jamie knows. He understands this about our relationship.
gotta
Jamie and
see.
I were in, I remember the very first time Jamie and I presented together ever. He was like, oh, well, I'm not a marketer. And I was like, whoa, time out, buddy boy. Like, let's, because your title's CMO. So that's weird. So let's just back up on that for 10 seconds. And I was like, okay, have you ever implemented solutions, strategies, or technologies that were purpose-driven to drive growth? He's like, yeah. Like, have you ever had to translate the value of your business into the language of your customer? Well, yeah. Have you ever driven revenue? Yeah. I'm like, guess what? If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's a CMO. And, I just said,
Wow, title CMO.
right. So that's when I had to break the really hard, sad truth to Jamie Anderson that he was, in fact, a marketer.
It feels like it was kind of inappropriately appropriate, though.
Inappropriately appropriate by Liz Miller.
I
It's
think-
like a bad perfume and a podcast. Thank you, Brett Larry.
Awesome.
I've designed a T-shirt here. It's been a
What do you
very
mean
busy.
you designed a
Did
t-shirt?
you? I designed a
didn't see it.
T-shirt. Oh, we designed it on the fly after the "Don't Be a Tool Hugger."
I didn't see it.
There's a whole bunny rabbit. It's like two rabbits hugging. We're gonna have it sponsored by Ingram
Oh.
Micro.
So-
Yeah, here it is.
Hold it to the camera so people hold.
Don't
yeah,
know
it's
if you
kind
can
of.
see
So
it.
hold on. Let me
Here.
give you guys
Hang
full
on.
Brett can
screen.
zoom in.
Here we go.
You can go full screen. A little closer if you can.
Okay. That's a purple butterfly. Is that?
It's a bunny and a raccoon hugging, and it says "Don't be a tool hugger."
Oh, you had to have a varmint in there, huh?
Brent, if I'm creating an inappropriate fake T-shirt, yeah,
You gotta have a varmint.
I gotta have a
get it.
varmint, dude.
All
It's
right.
very on brand, but
I
it's
get
okay because I made them purple for Constellation.
Oh.
Purple varmint. Can't
Yeah,
go
purple
wrong.
varmints, right? And there's a hashtag.
CCE 2022. But that makes.
Listen, you can take the girl out of
Yeah,
marketing,
well,
but you can't take marketing out
Yeah,
of the
but
girl.
here's the problem. That t-shirt becomes completely useless after
It's
tomorrow.
True, but at least you know where it is because you know what? CCE hashtags live forever, kind of like asking for Vala. Poor Vala Afshar is never going to run away from people asking questions on his behalf. It's just a CCE thing. When you're part of the family, we torture you for life.
That's beautiful.
What a motto. I like
It's
that.
so beautiful.
Okay,
Makes me cry.
thank you guys for having me here. I know Kenny's out in the hall. You want me to go get him?
Yeah, Kenny's been our shepherd here.
I know he
Yeah.
has.
No, we want to bring him in to close out the show.
I was
too.
going to say, you
Yeah.
want me to have him go get him?
Yeah.
I'll go get him.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you know what that means?
Thank you so much. Oh, I love it.
I love you.
Bye, Brent.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Oh gosh, I'm breaking your equipment.
No,
Holy
you.
crap.
No,
Don't worry. Everybody else has tried that too.
That it's happening.
Wait, here it is. Here it is. There we
Thank
go. Okay.
All right, my dear. As always, you
Bye,
were
friends.
spectacular.
Hey, by the way, is it confirmed that one of the people that we spoke with last week at Cloud World is joining us?
I'm trying to remember who
His
that was.
name is his first name is synonymous with the Halloween series.
What? Hold on. Can we say his name?
Jason.
Oh, it's not 100%. But
Okay, all right.
I don't have a final answer yet. All right. So Kenny's here, so we can close out the show. But before we
How was
close,
Yeah, Kenny
always
got the
great.
guns out all of a sudden. It's like
Yeah, I
a
know,
gun
it's
show
good.
in here.
So
I just forgot my jacket, actually.
no, but here before we actually close the show, we want you to talk a little bit about relic ticketing.
Oh, yeah, Hunter's right up there.
Well, get Hunter then.
Okay.
Get him in.
Just because,
Hunter's
I mean,
the-
I'm more than happy to talk about, but why not get
Yeah,
it
no,
from the?
that would be outstanding.
Okay.
Hunter's the founder and CEO
Let
of
me go grab.
Relic Ticketing. Kenny's partner in it. BFF.
Cool.
Well, no, I get BFF.
I thought his BFF was Steph.
All right. Well, you want maybe do the old? Who's the ones who say? I would go like Hunter Abrams. Come on down. Who used to say that?
Wasn't that on
It's really old school.
Price is Right or something? I don't know.
No, it's like. You're too young. I mean, I know you're.
Price is Right.
No, but what? No, like the Price is Right, circa 21st century. Brett and I are talking about Price is Right, circa 19th century, 1878.
Wait a minute.
No, I said.
I'm
that.
not talking about it from that.
It didn't actually exist. I was doing that as hyperbolic metaphor,
Yeah,
right? Right. It didn't actually exist in the 19th century. TV didn't exist either, right? So this was the 20th century. So Hunter, meet Brent.
Brent, very nice to meet you.
This
Nice
guy,
to meet you.
Kenny's been telling me about this guy for quite a while, and he's literally, I'm not kidding either. I'm not saying this to be, kind, but he's literally as awesome as Kenny told me he was. I am
you.
not kidding. This guy is great.
Thank
So
you.
you need to tell everybody about you and Relic Ticketing.
Me as in my background?
Yes.
Okay.
You is you.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I'm Hunter Abramson. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Relic Tickets. My background, I grew up in the sports entertainment industry. My dad, I got to watch my dad be a major part of the console wars with Sega when him and Tom Kalinske had brought it to the US and got to face down Nintendo and take a lot of market share away from them. So stepping into the ticketing space, I got to watch my dad face the big players that were currently in the space and actually chip away at market share and see it done in real life. And, throughout his career, I grew up in the world of, the Harlem Globetrotters and the Ice Capades.
Oh, geez, I didn't know the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I actually lost hearing in my left ear a little bit because when I was maybe a couple weeks old and I went to a game and sat too close and took away some of my hearing.
Wow. Holy God.
Yeah. And then, my dad had an agency that he represented a lot of pro sports around the country, as well as a lot of the studios and networks in Los Angeles for cross-promotional marketing, product placement, experiential marketing. I got to grow up and see that world in real life to where I went to college and was like, I'm never going to do this. And I realized it's the only thing I'm good at. So I stepped back into the space. I was with him for a while. We got to execute on a lot of very cool marketing campaigns with big brands internationally, sports teams, movie releases, and studios. So that was fun. And then I really started understanding blockchain technology and NFTs and smart contracts and what they do for the space and how they can operate. And my world's kind of collided with this is a perfect use case for ticketing, and a lot of the problems that are happening in the world when it comes to both the consumer, which is obviously always talked about and where a lot of the frustration is, but also the enterprise and their frustrations in what we can do to help fix them by kind of leveling the playing field by utilizing blockchain technology and NFTs for ticketing. So we don't, envision this in just the sports entertainment world that everyone kind of positions us at. We look at the future of what could this look like for airlines, public transit, cruise ships, theme parks, anything that needs an access ticket. And what we really, the value propositions that we're really trying to bring to the market are obviously,
really reduce fraud to almost 0%, mitigate scalping, not completely, still giving consumers the ability to resell tickets on a margin, but being able to set rules in the smart contract to where if you bought a ticket for $100, you couldn't sell it for 10 or 20% of what you purchased it for. So being able to close the gap just a little bit. And then what does a ticket now look like that lives on forever and is now a tool for an entity, an event organizer, a sports team to utilize in an engagement process for new value adds for their partners and sponsors, for the athletes, for musicians, for brands that are playing in the space with them, as well as giving more value to the consumers and protecting them and what it looks like. So, Kenny and I always talk about what does it look like to collapse the distance as much as possible through a ticket that now is really almost like a live entity that you can interact with pre, during, and post forever in creating loyalty and community.
Wow, that's amazing. So do you foresee, I don't know if this is doable given your model, but there was I wish I could think of the name of the company. There was a company in kind of the earlier days of testing out new alternative ticketing that they made the ticket almost the equivalent of a device.
Okay.
Right? And so what you can, not only did you buy a ticket for an event, but that ticket could be used for things inside the venue too.
Mm-hmm.
So buy ice cream. You can buy,
Yeah.
Well, do you do this? Is that part of the model? Is that a future version of the model? I mean, does that play no role whatsoever? I mean,
No, it plays a major role. We can currently, utilize those applications in kind of our general admission platform right now that is really used for music festivals and conferences, where we can segment the ticket to where certain utilities can get burnt throughout the entire experience.
Okay.
So you can utilize it for an access pass to get in. And then once you're in, being able to say, hey, I'm going to collect my t-shirt, I'm going to buy alcohol or food, or hey, I'm going to the VIP area. We can segment those utilities in the smart contract to utilize them. And then also, as you and I talked about at one point, the future goal is how do you utilize the smart contract and the data that you're receiving to then create the user flow and the consumer process and the experience that much better by being able to kind of almost recreate an experience around that data flow. And what does that look like?
Amazing. So, I mean, look, honestly, because, when NFTs first hit, I remember, let's just say, what was it? The thing that made it sort of brought it to the attention of people was that Bio bought that $66 million piece of digital art, which is probably worth $66 now.
The Beatles piece.
Right, yeah. I mean, that was so stupid. It was like this, and I remember thinking, "Oh God, is this what we're up against now?" I said, "Maybe what I'll do." I remember just joking, because I used to, like every other kid, I had baseball cards and football cards and even basketball cards and even hockey cards. I had a lot of cards.
I'm a huge sports card collector.
I don't, not anymore. I lost all of them, of course. Given away. My mother. I had probably 7 different. Probably, if I'm dealing with current market. What do you call it? Condition level.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like between 7 and 9.5.
Yeah.
Most of my cards were somewhere in that range, except for the ones, of course, I used on bicycle spokes and playing knockdown.
Yeah.
Right? Those were a little bit more beat up. But the other one, like Mickey Mantle, I had probably 6 different Mickey Mantle cards of 6 different years, from Tops and Fleer. I think I even had one.
The Tops 54s.
I didn't have the top. You have the Tops. Do you have the Tops 50?
I do not have the Tops 50, but I have 3 Mickey Mantles graded right now that are
What are they
sitting
graded
in.
at?
They are at 3s and 4s.
Okay,
currently.
so they're VFs.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they're
are.
VFs.
They're not all the way in. I'm not spending that kind of money on sports cards yet.
You saw the 9.5 Tops 50 card.
Yeah.
So for what was it, Brent? 18 million?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
the
listen.
biggest in history.
If we're on that subject, Kenny and I are about to release a product at Relic that's called Relic Creator. And it came from my love for sports cards out of my head. And essentially, it's going to be a SaaS platform that celebrities, athletes, long tail niche leaders can utilize, to where you can go on, they can set a certain amount of time, you can buy a spot in the queue, and you get to live interact with them for a couple of minutes. We're collapsing that distance to where your favorite sports star, you can actually interact, and you have a couple of options during the interaction. You can upload a photo, You can have them have stock photos that they'd like to utilize for their sports cards, or you can take a selfie with them that they will, on that live interaction, digitally and authentically sign the asset in front of you.
So are you actually conversing with them,
You are
and then
conversing.
you're getting a digital asset could get a digital asset as a result of at the end point of the conversation.
That's correct, where it's actually authentically signed by them, but at the same point, you can actually have a personalized message from them directly to where the athlete, celebrity, or whoever is utilizing it. Small community members, we see this, a huge thing for the NIL community in collegiate sports. We see it for up and coming artists to actually create revenue for themselves, to where when you get that asset, not only do you get to have it and use it as a collectible and be proud of it and socially share it, but at the same time, you will be able to enter into that personal community. So if you look at an athlete, you've got, the team IP, you've got the NBA league, if we're talking about an NBA athlete, but this is going to be a thing where you're a part of that certain athlete's personal community for interaction. So
is that a paid service from the athlete, or is that a athlete wants to have a personal community and
the athlete wants? So a lot of the bigger athletes that we've talked to would like to drive it towards their nonprofits,
right?
Which makes sense. A lot of the up and coming artists, this is a new revenue stream for them to continue with their dream and drive a community around them. So think of it this way. If Taylor Swift had used this when she first started and started growing her community, those assets
wouldn't be complaining about her exes.
Yeah. Well, that too.
She made a fortune complaining about her exes.
But those assets, not only did you have personal interaction with Taylor, you can say, like 10 years down the line, Taylor can say, hey, I remember you. I interacted with you and you were a loyal fan of me when I was nothing. Hey, do you want to come to one of my concerts? I'm in New York this week and I'd like to give you 2 free tickets. It's a true distance collapser for fans. And that is what we're working towards.
Well, the only very primitive version of that I know is Cameo has that extra service where
Correct.
you can interact, but for a fee. I mean, it's not really being built around community. It's being built around extra cash.
Exactly. This is driving really an interactive community for whoever wants to drive an interactive community.
I love the idea. I think that is incredible, actually. Hey, Brent, Eric Dickerson, what do you think?
Hold on.
Oh, he's the first guy you got to sign up, and then you win the goodwill of this show forever.
We've got a lot of Hall of Famers in the NFL that are looking at this because, they're done. They're looking at new revenue sources. They're looking at, new engagements with their communities and their fans that they don't get to play anymore. And, they don't want to go keep speaking and go keep signing memorabilia that they're never going to talk to this person again. They want to be alive and they want to interact and engage. So what does that look like, and how do we drive this technology towards that?
Remembered, actually.
Exactly. Yeah, and this will live on forever. This is not ink. This is not a tangible thing that could get lost in your, garage in the back. This is something that will be with you forever. That is also tradable as well, depending upon. And they sit in the revenue stream, and quite honestly, that's a pretty transparent part of our process. To where if they're adding value to these assets with their communities, and it becomes it becomes valuable to trade consistently in the secondary market, they're driving more revenue for themselves as well.
Well, you're actually literally arguably the first company I've ever heard of that's genuinely using what was hyped for really valuable and potentially really important work. I really
thank you.
I've said with so many companies pushing this stuff, and they just basically my only response to them is.
Well, Kenny and I always joke, it's like, this is not new stuff, everybody. This is all of our old school marketing tactics we all grew up with, all the way down to sweepstakes. It's the same stuff, just a new tool to utilize.
Oh, listen, you know my standing theory about generational changes. At the end of the day, you end up just like your parents, right?
Wow.
So it doesn't matter what generation you're from. It's on the way there, you're different.
Yeah.
But by the end of the thing, you literally say, yeah, it's exactly what my parents did and what they told me.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that's same thing. And a lot of things existed a long time, just new way of doing it from now.
Yeah.
Totally. And at the end of the day, it's still going to exist the way it existed 100 years ago.
100%. Just going to be new tools.
Right. But that's fun. That's
exactly.
the fun part.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So there is one question.
What's up? Geez.
Now, here's the
positioning
deal.
is scaring me.
Love you guys. I love you for being on the show. As you know, I met you. Now I love you also.
Same.
But,
vice versa. But
there's a question we ask. And if you answer it wrong, You are never invited back to anything we do. All right. So now I know the answer, I think, already. So, but do you root for an NFL team?
Yes, I do.
And what team might that be?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're okay. You're okay. There's only one wrong answer.
Okay.
New England Patriots.
Deal. So yeah, I get to have the benefits of their
No,
past.
you don't really. You don't like Tom Brady either, but he's not a team.
Truth.
Right?
Truth. Yes, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and have been for a while. I was born in LA, and when my family came to Florida, it was the Bucks and the Lightning, and we did a lot with the Orlando Magic.
All right. So Brent, can you please just tilt your hat forward so he can see it?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey, Brent, I was at the Bucks Rams game. Okay.
Oh, so you saw Matt Stafford loft that beautiful pass to Cooper Kupp to end the game, basically.
I was sitting in that end zone watching it happen towards me. And I looked at my buddy when the ball was in the air and I said, "This is over."
I mean, you guys made such a valiant effort coming all the way back from 27-3.
One of the best. Look, I've been to a lot of amazing sports games in my life. Especially, I went to Florida State and going to the Florida State Auburn game in the Rose Bowl. One of the best games I've ever been to. The most exhilarating. That is up there though. From that, just the emotional feeling was insane.
Imagine. I'm a Giants fan, so we're good this year.
Yeah, I know Daniel Jones. You know,
well, he won Offensive Player of the Week this week.
Yeah,
I just saw that this morning. And the Giants are now in the power rankings 5th. We haven't been higher than 25th in about 10 years.
Yeah,
right. Right. Since I think the year after we won the Super Bowl, we've been literally at the bottom of everything since then.
Yeah. Well, all those teams up there are crushing it right now.
Well, the Giants look. Who knows how it's going to end up? Although we've already won one more game than we learned all of last year already.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say that is very distinctly different, aside from Saquon Barkley finally being back, and I love that guy.
Yeah.
Is we are insanely well coached.
Yeah.
The coaching has been absolutely. I mean, you can literally. One of the few. I've been a Giants fan since maybe 58, 56, 50. I was 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like Yankees and. Maybe 60 for the Giants, but normally you don't really. The coaching may be good, but you don't like physically feel it, in a manner of speaking. With the Giants, you literally know the reason we're winning is we are being coached so incredibly well, and the play picking is phenomenal. And luckily Jones is showing real potential. He's gonna, if things keep up this way, he will get the franchise quarterback. That he's looking for.
Well, I'll tell you this. Everyone wanted the Joe Burrow and Zach Wilson sports cards, and the Daniel Jones sports cards were looked over for quite a bit, but now I'm watching the values start to fly back up now.
I'm glad. I always liked him regardless. I mean, I felt a little bad that he was always kind of underappreciated. Well, he wasn't underappreciated. He wasn't that good. But but the one thing I've always applauded with the guy, I've never seen probably a tougher ball player than him.
Yeah.
He plays with his hands bleeding. I mean, and he's an astoundingly good runner.
Well, I love Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a huge Tom Coughlin fan.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't, Joe Judge fans?
Oh, my God. I go with John Sterling's call when Aaron Judge hit a 60-second homer. He came up with a call even the people who don't like John Sterling's calls liked. He did as usual. He said, and I'm going to Joe Judge on this because what the last 2 words of this is how I think of Joe Judge. But this is the home run call. He went a Judgian home run, and then he goes ba 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 ba. It's number 62, and then he goes, all rise. Here comes the judge. Case closed. That was so good.
That's awesome.
Everybody, and that's how I think about Joe Judge, by the way. Case closed. The
That's
man,
awesome.
A piece of crap, right? but that was literally the best call he's ever made, and it like hit the waves, hit the airwaves everywhere.
One bone to quip with that. Did he say Judging home.
Oh,
run.
he always does that. That's
Oh
that's
my
all year.
God.
Because Judge's home runs are Ruthian, right? Meaning they
I like
they
roofing better
actually-
than judging. That's
No, it doesn't really work. But it doesn't. A lot of what he says doesn't work. He's just such an entertaining guy. He's 83 too, and he's still going strong. I mean,
Yeah.
remember he broadcasted what 5,000 Yankee games straight before he finally took a break.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
had decades of never missing a game.
Wow.
His apartment burnt down in New Jersey one year, and he literally went, took care of that, and came and broadcast the game.
That's wild.
That's how good he. I am a fan of John Sterling.
So he's like the
Despite
Cal
many-
Ripken of baseball announcers.
Yeah, he is. He's fabulous, and he's going to retire soon. He's cutting back already, but we'll see. Anyway,
See, great example.
Yeah.
You know, put him on the creator. He's got
I
a
will
niche
let
of
him know.
fans. You know,
well, I know the Yankee CRM guy is my buddy, and Brent knows him really well too. And I'll just tell him to tell Sterling.
Look, this is a great example of people who, you know, once they're done, maybe there's a way to drive their
Well,
community
with him, he'd
engagement.
actually create NFTs for his audio.
Totally doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
His calls would be NFT worthy.
That would be awesome, actually. I
Yeah.
love that idea.
All
Oh,
right,
he
good.
would be great. Like, you know how they do, like you got the greeting from Tino, your birthday
yeah.
greeting from last year. But could you imagine John Sterling doing a call for your birthday? That would
Oh
be
my
really
God, that
cool.
would be amazing.
That would be
That
sweet.
would be truly amazing. He really does need to get that kind of stuff going. He doesn't understand any of it.
Just leave out the
I think he doesn't
judging
even understand
thing.
how to use a modern mic yet, right? But I don't know. But I would love
That
to
would
see
be
him do
cool.
that.
Just tell him don't say judging. That's the only
No,
thing
he will though.
to say.
Again, you should hear his Stanton. I can't even. He literally speaks Italian, right?
Oh my
So
God,
because his name is Giancarlo, right? So anyway, enough of that. All right.
Sweet.
So well, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Can you send in your cohort to help us to help us finish out the show?
I shall. Brent, so nice to meet you.
right,
Absolutely,
okay.
man. Take care.
All right.
This has been awesome, Paul.
Well, I'll see you. You'll see you in about an hour. That was Arlington, Virginia calling me, meaning spam.
Oh, I
All
thought
right,
it
so
might have
we'll
been,
get Kenny in. Unless there's someone else out there, we'll get Kenny in and close. Sandy's around. I haven't seen her yet, so I texted her and asked her if she wanted to come do the show.
I
Who-
texted.
yeah, no one else? You clear? Someone there? Okay, come on in. Come finish the show.
I texted Steve Gilmore.
Yeah, he didn't come. He knew about it. I told him. I told him to come, but he didn't.
He says he's in the main room now. Anyway,
It's too late.
I don't
We got to close.
Yeah, people.
People went to
Yeah, I guess.
really?
Someone from Constellation.
Okay. I mean, if they're supply people, they can come in and take the stuff, right? By the way, we're broadcasting from a storage closet.
And this show has been brought to you by PPN.
Yeah, there we go. Look at this. All right, so Kenny,
All right.
final thoughts.
You know what? Just always a pleasure to be with you two gentlemen, doing incredible things, bringing incredible content and people to the masses. It's
That's
fantastic.
right. Power to the people.
Power to the people.
All right.
I did go to Berkeley.
Right.
So
yeah.
people's power.
There's a
Yeah.
certain thing that goes after that. I won't say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Brent, you want to?
Wait,
Take us
what's the certain thing that goes out? Is that like an old
You really wanna hear it?
NWA song?
Oh no!
I
The certain thing that goes after is death to the fascist pig.
Oh, okay. I
Okay,
thought it was.
yeah.
I thought it was
That's
more NWA-ian.
No,
in
it's
terms
more
of-
radical. We hate you. We
Okay.
hate you, capitalist state.
Yeah. It's very subtle and nuanced.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to interpret that.
Subtle and nuanced. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
death to the fascist pig. There's
Which
multiple ways.
describes all of us, right?
Right.
Subtle and
nuanced.
nuanced.
That's highly nuanced people. All right.
All right. We'll even actually look at the camera, right? As we-
We can do that.
All right, guys. So anything that you guys have left at the CCE event? Is there a big dinner or something? Or
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, Supernova.
Yep. Supernova Awards will
we're
be
doing the
handed out.
awards. That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. Then it will be
Are
done.
you getting an award?
No, I've never gotten an award from Ray.
I have BT 150 and AX
Well,
S
look at
AX.
20
you.
or whatever. Ambient experience.
No, we don't say that word. We called it all-in-one,
CX,
awesome.
Is that CX, AX, BX, PX?
Yeah, this is
There's
more,
a lot of X's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AX, BX, PX, CX, MX,
MX.
TX,
TX.
and UX, and EX.
And WTF.
Yeah.
I think it's time to end this one, guys.
I think we're starting to spin out of control.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I did get to see a lot of people leaving, and they were thrilled to be a part of it. So
Okay.
you guys get the best. It's fantastic.
You're right there with us, man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So just another quick plug for what are we doing again next week?
I don't know. We're doing like a lot of
The
things.
town hall thing next week.
Oh, the town hall, November 2nd, 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. The post-pandemic CMO journey, pathway to CEO. But we'll also be talking to CROs, CGOs, CMOs.
It's a lot of O's.
Yeah, a bunch of C's, a bunch of O's. Probably some
I think I'll tune in.
honey nut. Well, you can come on it. You don't have to tune into it.
Maybe I
You
will.
were
I
CMO.
love that. I
You
was.
were the head of marketing, man.
Yeah,
So come on in. Town hall.
Post-pandemic journey. That's
It's being on
like
LinkedIn Audio, which is this is both experimental and will be a remarkable discussion. And the hosts will be, as we've said before, Brent Leary, Paul Greenberg, and Anand Thakur, the Midas of MarTech, aka the Golden Smog.
Yes.
so remarkable, not only amazing, but remarkable, right? Because it'll be that good.
Ooh.
Oh,
Right?
Whoa.
I think that's
There's that nuance again.
yeah.
It's that marketing that just keeps coming out, man.
Guys are
Lucky you.
Oh, and, a quick shout out because right before that Playaz Town Hall, 2 p.m. Eastern,
Ah,
we're doing a few good minutes with the co-founder of Substack, Hamish McKenzie. So that ought to be cool. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that. So,
That's a good one. That's great.
invite them to the town hall.
Brent. Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
back to back. We got a blockbuster Tuesday.
PPN's on a roll, man.
All right.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Anand Thakur's other claim to fame is that the voiceover for PPN.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to get him to do that. The James Earl Jones
Yeah, the version.
replication.
That's it.
Is
All right.
PPN, that kind of thing. All right.
This is PPN.
All right. So in the meantime, I am Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
I'm Kenny Lauer.
We are the CRM Playaz, and let's see. I know this is kind of a special edition and all, but I
It's all
still
right.
think we need to do this.
She was going to make a live appearance, but she's teaching children today.
Minnie is teaching children today.
Yes, she is. Minnie literally was coming to make a surprise guest appearance on CRM Playaz, but she got this gig that she does regularly where she teaches kids who are reading challenged, and the kids read to her.
Really?
Yeah. and
What?
that's what she's doing today.
Is
Amazing.
Yes, this is the best dog on the planet.
Wow. Kids read. I
We
Yeah.
like Patrick too, but
Yes.
Minnie is our,
And Patrick can earn the same level, but got to earn it yet. But
absolutely.
she's certainly cute enough to do it.
All right. So
All
we
right.
will see you guys next. Oh, by the way, yeah, we are running. We did record a show live from Cloud World last week. The exhibitor room. They actually gave us a studio set up right on the floor of the exhibition. So tomorrow, the regular time, 3 p.m. Eastern, you will see that.
So stay tuned. Oracle Cloud World tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. It was a great show.
A really, really big shoe.
Really big shoe.
And on that note, we will see you next week.
Goodbye.